much, then it's going to negatively impact those exact videos. Because let's imagine that you're forcing it 5% of all of that into to someone's feed, someone who really doesn't give the slightest of a fuck about STEM, and then gets pissed off by the fact that they keep seeing that, then they will now negatively interact with this content. And as we all know, that this whole algorithm is supposed to prioritize, positivity over everything else. That is going to reflect negatively on the reach of this exact content, right? So there's a lot more people that will consume brain rots than there are people that will consume STEM. And so the overwhelming majority that will inevitably get pissed at the fact that they're seeing STEM content will react to it negatively and thereby devalue and even to a certain extent deplatform the STEM content.
But maybe there's a way to address that by not making it narrow to STEM. Like, I believe that even if you hate science, technology, engineering, math, there's probably something
here's how we do this.
Everyone
likes
that's
AI.
educational.
Yeah, AI. Here's how it works. When you have Kim Kardashian explain to you how integral functions work, they're going to listen because they will listen to the brain rot. If you can turn math and fucking biology into a schizo edit, people will pay attention to it. Okay? It's a skill issue.
Oh, I disagree with that. I think that there's going to be...
100%. If I am going to turn a bunch of math into a fucking schizo edit, people are going to put that into their brains because it's a schizo edit, and that the math just happens to be there at the same time. Brain rot is a meme vehicle. That's all that it is. You can put something in it that doesn't rot the brain. It's not the fact. It's not the format itself that's the problem. It's the content that's the problem. Now, the format may be a bit problematic as well because it doesn't really address the fact that people are losing their attention span. May even contribute to that to a certain extent. But the reason why it's called brain rot is because of the content itself, not necessarily the format. So if you take the schizo edit format and instead of racism, you put in mathematics, okay, now you're dealing with a whole new different thing.
I'm not sure that there's a way of making a schizo edit version of mathematics. And then also...
100% is. 100% is.
Okay, well, everything. It would be... I would like to see examples of
that. Edit. Okay, I can make EMC squared racist. This is 100% what we're going to make happen. Go on. Just kidding, but I will make it good. So it's 100% possible. Hey, remember the H2O thing? Not the H2, oxygen. Sorry, oxygen. Here, let me pull up the oxygen clip real quick. Where's my fucking oxygen clip?
Come on. Make E equals MC squared racist. Come on, do it. Do it for me, dude. Do it.
I don't think I can post that because if I do, it's going to go everywhere.
Do you guys know what the...
Do you have...
Like wheels too.
It's right? It's like there's sticks, but then wheels. Oh my god.
I used to build a lot of gear mechanic stuff so that it would travel faster. It's kind of funny. It's the first time you be confronted by physics. You understand that the torque is the thing that's actually extremely powerful.
Are you talking about Hot Wheels, or what are you talking
about? No, I'm literally talking about something that allows you to move something from one place to another via a wheel. It's like young
children thing.
Generally male children, but it's the greatest thing ever, and it really activates some part of your brain if that's your dharma. You have to understand that there are some people who are just not excited mentally about 3D and physics. And so the stick metaphor is great, but you have to be one of those people who are I have a stick, I have a sword, I can you get it if you're into sticks, but some
staff weapons, I've loved staff weapons always.
It was amazing. The sticks were amazing. Sometimes you'd find one that was shaped like a gun.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'd find a giant fucking. You'd find a giant branch. And then that will be now you're a wizard.
Have you ever found those roots though? I uprooted a whole bunch of shit and it would be pine. And so sometimes it's curved like a fucking sword. What I do is I carve it a little bit. And so the wood is very resin rich, so it's sharp as fuck. And it's very, very good. I cut grass
and
with
then you make a sword.
Yes. I actually got really good at wood carving because of that, because I carved sticks into various things, including, of course, a staff weapon. I made my own staff weapon, by the way. An actual spear shit on it. I had a knife. Somebody broke a kitchen knife, the tang came off and everything, so I was like, give me that. I took it, shaped it up a little bit, and then I fucking took a stick made out of hardwood, and I turned it into a long staff, fucking put the blade into the top, tied it up and everything, and then I had a fucking spear. I don't know why I did that. I just fucking did it. It was great. And then I just fucked around with it a little bit. I've always fucked around with knives. I kind of cut myself once by accident, like right into the finger, right to the bone. That was fucking stupid. You learn the painful way how to fuck around with stuff and not fuck around with
Even
it.
if you had never known of the existence of a spear, like I wouldn't be surprised if that was like hard coded into your genetics. You know what I'm saying? Like even if you had never
Yeah, cookie pokey
exposed.
stabby thing. There was super
Right,
slicey
think about
thing.
a dragon.
They put it on the pokey thing. Now you have a slicey picky pokey stabby thing. That's long.
Look,
Looks good.
think about a dragon. Think about a dragon, right?
Dragon D sounds all over your face.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. No, a dragon.
Think about dragons.
Why does every single culture, even no matter how distant they are, have some sort of fucking dragon?
I don't know. I feel like that's a little bit of a different discussion, but
No, I don't.
No, I think it's a
I don't think it's connected to our genetics. I think it's
exactly.
a history.
I think it's like a hard coded into like.
Yeah, probably like demons and ghosts. Same
brain.
thing.
I didn't think about fire-breathing lizards until I actually saw about that myth. I interacted a lot with lizards as a kid, and I thought they were really cool. For no reason. Just like I thought they were really cool. And specifically because I understood that they're like descendants of the dinosaurs, I thought dinosaurs are pretty cool. Because I thought, hey, it's a big fucking thing. What if you could tame one of them?
That's probably why dragons became a myth.
Yep.
Because people dug up all these ancient dinosaur skeletons and like, oh, it must be a dragon.
Breathes fire, and it can fly like a bat.
I think there's a lot more to it.
Dinosaur man.
I think that a part of it is also humans had like all of these fears of like flying creatures and a type of snake or something, and they just combined them all
Yeah,
into
but this is
one.
the thing that doesn't make sense
Ferocious.
because dragons are more so revered than feared. They're seen as a blessing by many cultures, and some seek it as a tool. It's like I can tame the dragon and defeat my enemies. You know, look at China, like very very heavy on the dragon lore there. Oh yeah, by the way, 2024 is the year of the dragon, so that was pretty cool.
So,
Evolutionarily, why do we like trains and cars? Because I loved those as a kid, like remote controlled cars. That was my thing. I didn't have one, but like some friends did because they were rich.
I liked remote control flying things because I enjoyed the aspect of flying. It's just something about not being tied to a physical plane to some extent that's really appealing to me. I don't know why.
Okay, yeah, you sound rich.
Okay,
You're
wait.
all rich.
I never fucked around with anything flying in that sense. I just kind of fucked around with stuff that I could make out of paper.
I had one of those toy
Oh
cars.
yeah, those were great. I agree.
All right, hold on.
Paper planes, you put the weights on it correctly. You like send it out there. Actually, set them on fire. No, don't set them on fire. You know.
I had some of the like small toy cars that you like could ride as a kid. You know what the ones I'm talking about?
That's some
Yeah,
rich
but I
people
never had
stuff.
them.
But what
Yeah.
about inbuilt knowledge? Okay, so let me give you an example of how inbuilt knowledge exists. When I was 5 years old, I was given a cat. And because I was a 5-year-old boy, I decided to hold my cat over a bathtub that was full of water. And the cat went absolutely insane and started to scratch me or whatever because it didn't want to die in the bathtub full of water. And if it had never swum in its entire life. So I take the cat and I drop it in the bathtub full of water. The cat freaks out for about 2 seconds and then promptly says, "Oh wait, I know how to swim." And then it just swam. And then it like managed to get its way out of a bathtub. Like that's an example of like inbuilt knowledge, kind of like dragons and ghosts that just like is deep down inside of us that doesn't come out
Although
until
ghosts are
activated,
co-opted
right?
by like
I'm
Hollywood
looking-
these days into things that are not really ghosts at all. It's just bullshit. But yeah.
Hold on, I'm looking at the cars that you could ride, and you can it's only like $200. How's it?
They used to be a lot more expensive. The prices come down a lot in part through stuff like China. Like toys used to be a lot more expensive.
right.
Also, technology
I
has
got the best
advanced
gift one
insanely in the
time
last
though
couple of
as a
years.
kid. I got an amazing gift. You'll like it, Adrian. I got this book, but not to read because the pages were basically like paper planes. So
Oh, yeah, I know
you
what
could
you
fold
mean.
them in different
Yeah.
ways. It was tell you how to fold them. I would try them all out.
That is very nice. That's pretty useful. If you like learn all of that, you can pull some really cool shit amongst other people. Because paper is always around somewhere, and you can whatever you can do with paper would be super impressive.
Yeah, and it's so simple. It's super cheap. It's super simple, but you can do so much with it.
Mm.
Now, like being older, you can analyze like physically how it actually works, how you can make them as efficient as possible. We should actually bring back paper planes. Paper planes are so
I used to do a shit ton of technical drawing as well. So like I'm actually really good at it. I'm very good at like calculating scales in my head and everything, to the point where I can just like basically look at a thing that I need and then come up with some sort of understanding as to how it should work, and like write up a technical drawing very easily, take a picture of it from my phone, send it to someone, and they'll manufacture it. It's like, it's very nice to have that ability in your head. And all you need is a ruler, a little bit of math, and just some writing. That's because of all the geometry shit that I used to do. I used to be like into a lot of geometry because I thought it was the coolest fucking thing ever. Like the ability to understand how like 3D world actually works in terms of volume and, you know, in general what it actually is, to the point where I got so deep into it. I like remember drawing a cube and I said, you know what's very interesting about this? We're dealing with volume and we're dealing with everything, but something is missing here that makes it all soulless, so it has to be time. How do I draw time? And I literally put the fucking pen on my paper and then lifted it up, and I said it has to be an imaginary line. It's like the thing, it's movement itself. Because a two-dimensional representation of a 3D world is going to be devoid of time, so you have to like sacrifice a dimension each and every time, and time is the one that you sacrifice because it cannot move. There's nothing to move. It's 2D. And then I said, wow, the fourth dimension has to be time. And I said that as a kid to like my parents, said, oh, there's no such thing. And then I read about it later, it's like, yes, by the way, there is such a thing. There's a temporal dimension. I'm like, yeah, no shit, it's logical progression.
I think you have hyperphantasia. I gotta run that. Bye, guys. It was nice talking to you.
See you around, bro.
Yeah, I've met people that have the ability to like be able to tell like how heavy something is just by looking at it.
Interesting.
So
Wow.
like they'll grab a feel and then they'll be like, okay, this is like this metal out of this metal, and then they can tell it's like roughly this weight, and they're usually correct just off of looking at it.
Not just that, but
You
what
just
kind
want
of
to go
metal it
around
is
and
as
fat
well.
shame people.
Oh my god.
Nice, good one. Like you feel it, you're like, I could tell the weight of this one. No, but like for real, that actually does make sense.
You need to lose 20 pounds.
Even when I like look at certain types of metal, I can understand what it kind of is and what its composition would be like, or if it has some sort of sheet around it, like, you know, something that kind of encases it, like, you know, chromium or something like that. It's very obvious. And then like like how much carbon there'd be in it, you can also kind of tell. I'd also be able to tell based off a smell, you know, because metal reacts to what's on your hands. You can't actually smell metal, that's not a thing, but you can smell the outcome of a reaction between what's on your hands and the metal itself. That's the stuff that you smell. So you can't actually smell the metal, you smell what's left over. The reaction, that's what you smell.
Did you
So if you
have
ever
like
have this metal
IQ
smell, you get
test?
this one.
Because I'm thinking your geometrical blah. Can't speak now. It's too late.
Geometrical perception.
Your geometry affinity, basically.
Geometry.
That sounds like something that would be very useful for a particular IQ test.
Are you a shape rotator?
Probably pretty high.
Are you a shape rotator, Adrian?
What the fuck? A shape rotator. I don't know if that shape is your mom. Yes, I have done a bunch of rotations on that person.
Oh my god, go fuck yourself.
It was so good. Yeah. I was about to say bitch, but I was like, no, screw that. I love it.
10 out of 10.
Thank you. Am I shape rotator? I've always wanted to trash that in some way because people like say random shit because they want to like mean something. So they'll like take IQ tests and everything. Look, I understand IQ tests are great, but like me, I don't really care about that as much because I don't think I need to put a number on my intelligence. I more so need to put a weight on my abilities. So like for instance, if I go out there and I'm not capable of interacting with the world as effectively as I want to, then I feel as though that I'm kind of useless to a certain extent. So I'm gonna have to fucking change that. No matter how smart you are, what you know, what you can do, it is always limited to your ability on how you can interact with the world. Especially, it's multiple levels. Like for instance, you could know a lot of stuff and it would make you exceedingly capable. But hey, say for instance, in a format such as this, if you're unable to verbalize it efficiently and with some sort of drive behind it, it will sound exceedingly boring and everyone will leave. Like the thing that pisses me off a lot with public speaking is when people start to like randomly stutter and not be able to put their words together properly. Like you can't stutter and it's perfectly fine to stammer, but if you can't put something together with actual logical progression, then I don't think you should really you should really practice. And the same thing happened with me as well. I do sometimes stammer, I do sometimes stutter a little bit, but realistically speaking, it's like you just add some logical progression, try to condense as much as possible, and really force yourself to innovate, which is something I believe I'm relatively good at. because it seems to have worked out very well for me. So I don't really do IQ tests or anything like that. I don't really care. It's like, I care about oxygen. I care about economy more than anything else. Yeah.
What the fuck is up with people sending me DMs when they don't even follow me? Hey,
That's a good question. Would you like to sponsor this crypto project? How about
I got that. Like, I'll give you $500. I'm thinking, like, what would be the consequence if I just took the 500 and didn't do the sponsorship?
Yeah.
Bots after you.
I appreciate what you said about IQ because I completely agree with you. I don't even like flexing numbers, for example. Like, okay, great, what have you contributed to the world? I was just thinking because those exercises, those tasks that you get in an IQ test, I think your type of intelligence, because I think like there's different types of intelligence and how you can solve problems, and the way that you approach problem solving, I think, would be incredibly useful in an IQ test. So that's why I'm thinking you would probably score extremely high.
Yeah. Ooh, George Hodds just said something interesting. If the TikTok and 5090 export ban happens, American hegemony is over. Instead of trying to compete, the U.S. is choosing protectionism. You only do that if you know you can't win. I write this from San Diego. It breaks my heart to see America lose like this. This is actually true, especially when it comes to the chip war, because this right now is going to be a massive fucking issue. And they've put people, I think they put countries on like a tier list of at least 3. So it's like you have high, like, yeah. So either everything goes well and you're very complacent, everything's nice, you have no restrictions, or you have a few restrictions, or you are just completely restricted. Right? So that's a problem. This is very bad. This is extremely bad, actually, for everyone. Like, sure, people be, oh, wow, that bans certain countries from accessing computer. I'm like, you do realize that those certain countries, by the way, are responsible for building a lot of the technologies that you use and you love using and you couldn't imagine your life without, right? That's a problem.
Also, it gets all those countries to team up together to kind of take you.
Exactly. So you will end up creating your own worst enemy. And there will be a conglomerate type of thing that's going to happen. So it's like Dune. If you think about it in terms of Dune and everything makes sense. Think about the chips. The chips are the spice. The EUV machines that make the chips are the sandworms. TSMC, the ones that use the EUV machines to make those chips, are the Spacing Guild. Okay? And
I watched Dune. I've never read it, so I have no idea.
Oh my fucking god. Okay, so I'm going to say something real quick. You have this fundamental flaw about you. Read into things that are relevant, sure, but you don't understand various things about the world that fundamentally define it. If some of, let's say, the most powerful people in the world use the Dune meme, right, then maybe you should understand what it's about. That's all I'm saying.
What is it about?
Just watch the movie, you'll understand everything. Or just watch like a 30-minute lore video on YouTube. Couldn't hurt. You need to actually, the movie's more the art, but if you want to understand the concept, just watch the lore video.
Movie? Is that the one with...
It's not even a movie, you can like actually get a breakdown of the books, it's better than the movies. Movies are just the art, which is really cool looking. But yeah.
But is that like a new movie? Is that the one with like the fucking dude? That's like, that looks like a stick? And the black girl, is that the movie?
Yeah, that's one of the newer ones, but there are older versions of this as well. And the precursor to all of these are the books, which are infinitely better than all of them. Except there's some concepts in there that I think are very, very good, very cool. I don't like it because it's a movie. I like it because it's a meme, and there's something about it. The aesthetic of the movie is cool, by the way. But like the idea, that's what is behind it, is really, really interesting. I find it fascinating. And many people do as well. Like, why do you think Elon talks about Arrakis?
All right, I'll make you a deal. I'll make you a deal. If you play both the Portal games, I'll read the book, Dune.
You don't need to read the book. Just watch a bunch of lore videos on it, and you'll understand everything as you need to. And if it sucks you in that much that you want to read the books, you have to read the books. And this is why I like it. This is a thing that you have to understand. If you cannot understand why Elon references Arrakis when he talks about the Cybertruck running around in like the super red-looking desert, then that's an insane knowledge gap you're gonna have to plug somehow. Just being real.
Adrian, you should really play the Portal games.
Yeah.
They're incredible.
Oh, I know the Portal games
They're
are absolutely incredible. I've watched all the playthroughs. I just don't see myself playing them.
This is a
Like, if I want to deal with the puzzle, game, I'll play Loot Tetris and fucking PoE2, okay? or I'm gonna deal with like the fucking politics of what surrounds me, okay? Those are the two things. It has to have direct utility or no utility at all. I literally cannot afford to waste my time like that. I just can't afford it. It doesn't play into the utility. Everything that I do, every aspect of my life is optimized for one thing and one thing alone: usefulness in some aspect or another. I don't like wasting my time. I absolutely fundamentally hate it when people try, and I will try to make the most out of every single opportunity that exists. And I try to make everything tie into each other so that everything is like a perfect fucking system. And it is, because that's how the universe
the
operates.
human embodiment of those.
Effectively, yes. This is true. This is also why some people really, really like me and others really, really do not like me.
Not effectively, efficiently, yes.
Yes. That's actually that's ironic because that's actually what I do. Wherever I go, I shake up everything and get rid of like at least either, depending on the efficiency problem, 80% what's already there, or 20% depending on how big the problem is. Wherever I go, also less money is spent. So that's pretty cool, and more results are found. So I wonder how that happens.
Well, for one, you don't put up with costly, time-wasting bullshit.
I will literally do it myself just to prove a point, and then if I do it myself, I'll train somebody else to do that same thing as well, and then the outsourcing has effectively died. I'm like the outsourcer's biggest, like, worst bane, effectively. Like, that's what I am.
Fuck Quebec.
What has Quebec done to you?
I'm doing an Anki deck, and Quebec showed up.
Wow. Alright.
So, as a lawyer, I do have to say, sometimes outsourcing can be strategic.
Strategic is great, but if you do it for every single thing, then that's a problem. There's self-sabotage, and then there is stuff that you actually cannot do yourself.
Yeah, the companies that outsource everything don't last very long.
Yep. Like, say, for instance, look, if I want to make a specific thing and I need to have a solution for this quickly and I don't have the facilities to make this, I'm not going to build up the fucking facilities. I'm going to first make the fucking thing, then decide whether or not this is a recurring problem that is bad enough for me to actually create the facilities to do it myself. And then we work backwards from there. Or forward from the perspective of whatever the issue is.
For risk or potential liability. I mean, anything else you should try to handle in-house and, mitigate your costs.
Absolutely. It's all about cost effectiveness. Like, I mean, you can't be lazy about what you can, outsource to. Just make sure to overdo it. To rely off of outside sources for everything. And if it's like an infrequent thing, then that's fine. Also, you can kind of stockpile sometimes. Just imagine, for instance, you already know that this part is going to have a certain rate of breaking or like disappearing or something. So you basically stockpile a decent amount of that so you can make sure that you'll always have it there and you keep a certain amount of it there always so that you'll never run out, even if there's a crisis, like war and various other things, depending on, of course, what the thing is that you have to stockpile. What's important to your company, for instance, resources. The first time you'll practice this is with food. What happened?
Okay, so I'm doing an Anki deck.
Yes, it is actually quite windy here outside, and I'm enjoying the outside.
And it shows me Pretoria, Cape Town, Bloemfontein, however the fuck you say that. And it's obviously South Africa. And so South Africa has no legally defined capital. The branches of government are split over 3 cities: Pretoria, Executive, Cape Town, Legislative, and Bloemfontein, Judicial.
Just send me the word and I'll pronounce it for you.
Is this German, Dutch? What the fuck is this?
It's Dutch, more or less, blended with whatever the local thing would be. Oh yeah, that's definitely Dutch. Bloemfontein? Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
Bloemfontein.
Have you ever tried to learn Dutch?
No, it's Latin. That's the thing. Most of the Germanic languages, they have like these weird things in them, like the way that they pronounce letters together. You actually have to think in terms of runes more than anything else. That's what like language is actually designed for. The only problem is that you don't use runes, so you use like whatever Latin is. And so you try to create sounds with combinations of various letters. And like say for instance the idea of aesthetic, for instance, if you say aesthetic, you have like a combination of A and E in order to make aesthetic, right? In German, you actually have a specific letter for this. It's an A with 2 dots at the top of it called an E. And so with Latin, it was also like this, where you put A and E together, kind of like write it together in a sense. It was actually like this with language for quite a while. So it's like this is similar, where you have O-E is because it's both put together. Yes, it's It's like when you say pretty or beautiful in German. You say schön.
What's that weird like letter?
Which one?
You know the one I'm talking about? It's like 2 S's.
2 S's?
Yeah, I think so.
Looks like a B kind of. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's a double S. Yes. That's a double S.
What the fuck is the point of that?
It's a very long S, effectively. Like it's a very long.
Okay.
It's just I don't know, for efficiency, I suppose. But that's what it is. It's actually a double S. Like 2 S's put together. Yeah. Anything else?
Nah.
Do you have any questions about the N with a squiggly line on top of it?
What?
In Spanish, it's like Enye.
Yeah, exactly. No, I just like to look at languages. I used to interact with them quite a lot. They're very strange. I used to play a lot of strategy games, and so one of the ways you could do like OPSEC is to basically understand what everybody is saying around you. And so I was just able to kind of put stuff together sometimes and learn how languages work kind of passively. Fuck these things. Fuck these games. I hate them so much. Like, literally, you'll see what would happen if, like, the people of a country were to become a government and start to invade everything around them. Like, if everybody was given, it's okay. So that strategy game is like as if the people of every nation were to become their own government and given the mandate of absolute war. That's what that game is. It's fucking annoying.
Which game are you talking about?
I'm not gonna say it because no. It's a strategy game where you like conquer land, fucking
Are you
whatever.
talking about Civilization?
No. A little bit more advanced than Civilization, actually.
Can you tell me which one you're talking about?
What was it called? I remember it. God damn, I can't believe it was. I went out to reveal, by the way.
By the way,
This one.
the thing about me being wanted for McDonald's, I once posted that I'm wanted in several countries for the war crime of founding McDonald's.
Yes.
I think so, buddy.
Because
McDonald's gonna say you're right.
McDonald's itself is a war crime.
McDonald's wasn't so bad in the beginning. It was actually kind of good. It's what came after which was the problem.
Yes.
What do you guys
Or
think
shit
about RFK eating McDonald's in that picture?
The same thing that I think about when somebody gives me that shit. If I were to be in that situation, I would just eat it because it's the thing you do. You know.
He looked like he was in pain. Look at this.
Yes, he was. 100%.
Look at his face. He's like,
Yes. And like taking a picture of it, you already know it's gonna be everywhere. It's like, fuck.
yeah.
Adrian,
Like, if somebody were to ask me what that felt like, I would say, okay, you know what? I was there. You have shit food. It is what it is. We're all hungry at the end of the day. And I'm not gonna turn that down. Okay, I have to eat at least something, right? it's a rough day. It's been a rough couple of years. That kind of thing. I would just say that, eat the slob, and be fine with it. It's only like once. It's not like you're going to continue doing it.
Adrian, did you sleep well today?
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
Relatively well, yeah. Didn't have many invasive dreams, which is definitely a plus. Didn't dream about Otto's mom, so that's good.
Go fuck yourself.
So I had to throw that in there. Intrusive dreams. Oh my god. That's a thing, by the way. Has anyone in this space ever tanned their balls?
No.
Alright, then I'm better than all of you. I have definitely tanned my balls at some
I
point.
think I did. Yeah, I did once by accident. It hurt. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
How do you like tan your balls by accident? How does that work?
It just ended up being that way, just lying there, you know.
Oh my god. Like you just like fell asleep on a roof somewhere, or like
Yeah, basically.
I haven't given my balls any sunburn yet, so that's a plus.
Nads on a hot tin roof.
Adrian. Adrian.
That's a lot. Yeah, go ahead.
Go fuck yourself.
Okay. You have to say it in a STEM way now. Yeah, what is it? Hello there, fellow human, if I may have your attention. Yes, you. I would like you to please engage with observational sex with yourself. Engage in observational sex with yourself, that's the one. Yep. An appeal to narcissism.
Autoerotic.
Lawyer Cat, can you
I'm
translate
gonna go
that
and
to
take a
English?
nap now because I need to pick someone up from the airport in like
He
1.5 hours.
needs
And
to
it's pretty late.
vacate.
Roger that. 100%. See you around again tomorrow. Have a good nap.
Well, now
and,
Ian is here. Great, Ian, you're too late.
She's a generalist for
I'll come back
most of the
probably.
subjects. She's just shocking.
Yeah, eventually.
Okay, bye.
As soon as
Bye-bye.
See you.
See you around.
Lawyer Cat, can you translate that to legalese?
What the fuck?
And this,
Translate what to
Reply to what Adrian
legalese?
said.
Well, observational sex with yourself. I don't know that there's a legal term for that, but autoerotic observation.
Wow. Never heard of it. But yeah, it's interesting. Autoerotic observation, but yeah. That's also known as jacking off.
Specifically while you're watching yourself do it.
Yes, basically you're gonna have to go full fucking what is that called? God damn it. You know the meme, the other meme, the Sigma male meme. You know, from American Psycho, where he observes himself while he's banging someone.
It's a woman.
And he's watching himself, he's flexing his muscles, yeah. It's a great scene.
Patrick Bateman. I mean, depending on your kink, you could also do like CCTV, watch yourself on video.
Well, that would be weird as hell. That is so weird. You know, I used to play Manhunt, and that game was fucked up, right? You watch yourself on CCTV murder people. Wow. Nice. So that, if that gets taken out of context, people are going to think I'm a psycho. But no, it's a pretty cool video game. It's one of Rockstar's, the guys from Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, so everything you do is on CCTV. It's just sort of creepy looking. And, you know, imagining yourself, watching yourself jack off on a CCTV is actually really disconcerting just to even think about. I mean, think about it. It's weird and creepy. You know, like, well beyond.
Almost an uncanny valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be like one of those black and white grainy CCTV cameras, you know, not like one of the new ones. You don't want one of them.
Oh yeah, night vision.
Yeah, night vision.
Night vision?
Yeah.
It's like the Paris tape.
Yeah. The creepiest fucking thing.
Wild. Yeah. Yeah, Rockstar pushes the limits there when it comes to imagery.
I mean, hell, man, the physics engine is insane.
What do you guys think about Notch making Minecraft 2?
I think it's interesting. I hope he doesn't, shut himself down when he gets inevitably canceled because he has a tendency to do shit like that. He can't handle the woke mob, Like, he's not a woke guy, right? But they hate him. Like, the journalists, the game journalists, they dogpile onto him. And then he'll get, like, a little bout of depression because he can't really regulate his emotions properly. And then he just stops working for a while. Like, I hope that doesn't happen. I'm giving a prediction that it probably will happen, and that sucks.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Is he working like privately, or is he like working for a company while he's making
Privately, I mean, the guy's a billionaire.
Yeah, he sold Minecraft for $2.5 billion.
Yep.
He didn't get all
a
of
house
that.
in LA. It was not a good idea.
Yeah, and then he threw a shit ton of parties.
Yeah, because he thought it would be liked. Like, he actually wanted to be liked, and then he realized that it was a pretty empty fucking whole lifestyle. And so he stopped doing that.
Yeah. What happened to that house? Does he still have it?
I'm not sure. I hope not. Because, why the fuck would you want to live in LA? Jesus. And not just for the fires. It's just a kind of a shitty place to be if you're, not throwing parties every day. No. People, they, like nerds usually, when they come into a bunch of money, they want to try out a thing that they never really had access to, which is that sort of, popular kid lifestyle. But then you come to realize that everybody's just using it for money, and then you get really, really depressed. It's not great. It's just not great. It's sad that you have to, a lot of people have to learn the hard way. Because I remember when you were throwing those parties, that, people would show up and then they would, just plus one their own buddies into it, and it was shitty. They put their fucking feet up on the table. And he actually complained about that, saying that, who the hell is this person?
disrespectful.
Yeah. I'm a cool kid. I'm gonna show up at this guy's house and take photos in it. It's like, all right, fuck off. Nice. Oh, god damn it. If I'm sounding like I'm dunking on Notch, I'm not. I really hope that he does make Minecraft 2, and I like the fact that he's pretty based, like he's never really given a shit about other people's opinions. He doesn't let it change his opinions, but he does. I just wish he wasn't like affected by it, Yeah, and also like what he did with his money afterwards kind of hinted at the fact that it was quite and somewhat unfulfilled, I think. Yeah, he was.
Are we gonna watch the?
I love this game.
Hello?
Yeah, we can see you here.
Are we gonna watch this? Are we gonna watch the SpaceX launch to the moon?
Yes. Wait, to the moon? What are you talking about? What? They're just doing a test flight. No, they're just doing a test flight. They're gonna catch the booster thingy this time again. Hell yeah.
No, that's Starship. No, that's Starship. They're launching literally lunar landers today in like 20
Is it
minutes.
Is it the MBR sat the launch or what? Was it machines?
Firefly.
Is it? That's happening to. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. I didn't realize. Oh, wow. When are they launching MBR sat? Do you know? Let me check it. Fuck. Because they're supposed to launch it. Either they already launched it and I forgot about it, or they're actually launching it soon. Oh, nice. What? Yeah. This is. I remember this project.
1:11 a.m. EST would be when the launch would happen.
How many hours is that from now? Eastern? What? 9 hours maybe? 8 hours? I don't know.
No, it's actually 2 hours or 3 hours. 3 hours.
All right, how about this?
Like PM, okay.
All right, how about this? What we're gonna do is we're gonna live stream ourselves as well. We're gonna play some PoE, and then when that launch takes place, we're gonna instantly switch from that and then fucking like stream that shit as well. Good idea. I like watching with the chat because there's no chat underneath any of those live streams, so we're gonna do that.
When is the 50 series full on coming out?
It's dated for the end of the month, but it's kind of available in some places. Yeah. Oh.
Also, Jordan, why are you a part of conservative now?
Are you about to spread racism?
I guess he's AFK.
That's a terrible question, though. I just thought I'd ask it. Oh, nice. Yeah, bring him up. If you'd like to come up, I'd love to speak to him. He's a cool dude.
Yep. Have you guys talked about Red Note yet?
Could talk about what?
Yes,
Red
we
Note.
have.
You have?
Yeah.
Yes, we've already addressed that. Like, we're kind of beating that horse, but if you'd like to come in and beat the zombie horse, we'd be glad to do it.
I'll beat the zombie horse. Yeah.
All right, cool. We got the bracket science thing. We injected the horses back up. Everybody go at it.
So I think this move is very interesting because a lot of the people moving there are going to realize that China is a very different culture and they have a very different perspective on the world than a lot of Gen Z Americans do. I think it's going to be a very eye-opening experience for these users when they realize that China doesn't care about wokeness or transgenderism, right? They only have two genders, for example, Red Note when you sign up. That alone should tell you what it's about. And I think it's going to be very positive. Like, I know a lot of like conservatives are like kind of shitting on it right now, and they're saying, "Oh my God, they're going to China." It's like you realize China's actually kind of based, right? They're actually pretty socially conservative. Like, this is actually a good thing, not a bad thing. It's going to make a lot of Americans less prone to, you know, being brainwashed by the American media, you know, and American woke media.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the interesting thing, though. It's kind of ironic because if you think about it, the reason why TikTok is itself subject to a ban is because of its Chinese link. So guess what happened? You took the most mimetic app that you actually had more regulatory control over, which was TikTok, and you just exchanged it to something that you have literally almost no regulatory control over, which is fucking Red Note. And it's even more Chinese. So it's like, great job, everyone. Great job. You just made yourself a bigger problem.
Yeah.
And
36 minutes.
unlike TikTok, it is actually owned by the CCP this time.
Yep. Directly. Congrats, everyone. Do you feel happy about yourselves? Yes,
And the
censorship
programming
is interesting.
TikTok is owned by like a Cayman company that's headquartered in
Subsidiary.
China.
Yeah, it's a subsidiary. And they're super.
Yeah, and a lot of them will be like, "Oh, but they have like a 1% golden share in ByteDance, but they don't. They have a golden share, 1% golden share, in a Chinese subsidiary, not Binance."
Correct. Yeah. This is going to open up a lot of eyes. They're going to see that, you know, like wokeness doesn't really sell in China at all. It's in fact it's banned, right? You can't promote like feminizing and transgenderism, and that's a good thing. You know, it's a good thing because right now Americans are super propagandized by complete nonsense. They're going to be much more open to a global perspective, and that's not actually a bad thing, no matter what some people say. I'm not pro-China, just to make things clear. I just think that people should have a broader view of the world instead of what they're confined to right now. And TikTok is pretty bad about this. And on top of that, Red Note is highly programmed. So the Chinese, right, they know what's going on right now. They see that all these Americans are coming through. They're going to feed them a very different perspective than what they're used to. They're not going to be fed wokeness there. They're going to be fed Chinese values, which are actually not so bad if you compare it to this woke mind virus bullshit. They're actually not so bad.
Apparently, they've been working overtime to like add English into.
Hell yeah. It's cool. I might sign up. Fuck it. Yeah. Why the fuck not? I mean, what is it called? Red Note. It's actually a little red book in Chinese. Yeah, in Chinese it's a little red book. Okay, but you know, they very interesting reference.
So
That's kind of what I want to talk about next, but yeah.
So basically, to give you a summary, in a few days, probably TikTok is going to get banned.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, that's where I blew up.
Yeah, unless specifically the Supreme Court steps in or Biden gives an extension, and then Trump takes over. But as of now, it's being banned on the 19th.
Yeah.
And so TikTok users were in protest to basically say fuck you to the US government, decided, well, you know what, we're going to switch to an app that's actually controlled by the Chinese Communist Party, which is RedNote.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
wait a minute, who's we? Who's switching?
All the users. You guys see what the limits are.
Oh, I see.
RedNote literally became the #1 downloaded app on both the App Store and the Play Store.
That makes sense. That's exactly what would happen. Yep.
Here's where the problem begins. So what you see on a place like that is an outwards projected, idealized image of the country itself, which very understandably is, what every country should be doing.
That's
Everybody needs good propaganda. 100%. So the problem with this is going to be actually that I think a lot of the people that are somewhat liberal in nature, or class themselves as liberals, even though they definitely are not by the classic definition of what liberalism actually is, are actually closeted communists, so they'll fit in just well. And the types of people that I've seen join there are exactly like that in many respects. Some of which experiment and they try to have fun. It's a funny thing for them to fuck around with the Chinese people, which is exactly what they're doing, by the way. And others are there because they kind of can blend in a sense as well. Because what you'll see there is an idealized version of what their society is, which by the way is fine, but that's the problem. That is what the problem is going to be. And remember who's controlling the...
With TikTok at least, under Project Texas, the U.S. government would have wouldn't have had to worry that the Chinese were taking data from TikTok, because under Project Texas, it would have been all under Oracle, and it would have been handled under Oracle.
With RedNote, they're getting all of the data. All of the data is being... Everything that they want to protect against, that they try to protect against with Project Texas, is being done right now in real time with RedNote. So, congratulations. By the way.
So they're not... Yeah. Not
and it's
competent.
bad. It's very, very bad. Now, historically, I've never liked the TikTok app, and I don't like it still, but this kind of act is extremely bad. It sets a very bad precedent for anything that is free speech.
So there are actually a few Congress people that have already backpedaled, even though they voted in favor of it, and they're asking for it to be delayed now. Which I find quite interesting, because you have worse results if they're moving to an app that's literally fucking controlled by the CCP.
Yeah. So they probably did they figure this out after they tried to ban it too?
What do you mean?
I mean, did they know about RedNote and that it would easily replace TikTok? So they just tripped over themselves. They're just stupid.
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone knew about RedNote.
It's new.
I think what happened was that the U.S. government assumed that they were bluffing when they were saying they would never sell, and they turned out to be wrong. And they also thought that they could get away with banning Chinese products like they have in the past, like they did with Huawei and with BYD, and it would play out the same. But I think at some point you're kind of overplaying your hand. We've kind of seen that with sanctions as well. With the sanctions initially, when the first ever time you put sanctions on a country, it was absolutely fucking devastating. But as sanctions have kind of become the default thing to do, it kind of lost its effectiveness.
Yeah,
so at some point you're kind of just overplaying your hand.
Yeah.
And this was one of those times.